I've had worse Sundays, Ali, to be fair.
Mate.
No, I had a great weekend.
It was never in doubt, mate, was it?
Not really, no. I mean, I was a little bit nervous going into the game because I thought Tottenham, new manager, Arsenal dropping points against Wolves, obviously, Brentford. And they're going to go there and choke a little bit more, with Man City winning as well. But from the first whistle, I thought they was right on the front foot, weren't they? First 10 minutes looked like very, very controlling possession.
Showed intent, didn't they, mate?
Yeah, and got the goals when they needed them. Poor mistake for the Tottenham goal, but straight away Declan Rice holds his hands up, get on with the game. You make mistake, everybody makes mistakes, and I thought Declan was great again yesterday. But yeah, good performances all round. Eze again likes playing against Spurs.
Isn't that amazing though?
It is really amazing. 5 goals, in 2 games, mate. And Gyokeres, best game I've seen him play.
Me too.
With an Arsenal shirt.
Too.
So,
I mean, we'll talk again. I mean, Spurs have got problems, mate. They've got big
they
problems.
have a lot of injuries. Yeah. But I thought one thing about Tottenham yesterday, the fans played their part.
Yeah.
They really got behind the team, which, a North London derby you expect, but they really, really... But the players have got to respond to that, surely.
Of course they have, mate. Of course they have.
Probably, is it that wasn't good enough? I don't know.
I think there's an element of that. I thought they looked at golf between the quality and the sides yesterday.
Yeah, you can see why Arsenal are roughly at the top of the table at the moment, and Spurs
City keep going though as well, eh?
Yeah, City won't go away. I've always said
this. Wasn't 100%, a couple of good goals, Williams and things like that.
I've always said this will go down to the wire. Yeah. I mean, it's a season where, I know I love Piers, but Piers said, they'll win it in March, no chance. Oh, that doesn't happen in football.
He had them winning everything, man. Piers said he's winning the general election.
So it's going to go down to the end, and it's going to be, you're going to have knocks along the way for both sides, but it should be a hell of a run in. Man City, if they win every game, they win the league. That's how they got to look at it.
I know.
They got, obviously, Arsenal go to the Etiad, but look,
here's one for you, right? That game, would you rather it was at home? And it might sound a silly question, right? But all I'm thinking is this: when I've been to the Etiad a few times, Arsenal have been great, but I can feel a nervousness in the stadium, Ray, right?
Yeah.
And I think that can and does transfer onto the pitch. So, in a mad sort of way, honestly, God, mate, I think the difference now playing at home and away isn't as great as it used to be, right? I don't think it's a massive problem.
At the start of the season, you always look at who's going to be your main rivals, and you look at, can you get 4 points? That's how I used to look at it. When Man United was our big rivals, and if you could get 4 points in both games,
it's a good call.
You got a good chance.
Good call.
And look, they've got to go up there, set their stall. On the break, they're always dangerous on the break, Arsenal. You expect Man City to really have a go being at home, but it's going to be a hell of a game, and it's a game that
there's a lot of
could
football,
go either way. Could go either way.
We've played before it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
See, the thing is, Ray, I've looked at Arsenal. I didn't necessarily think the draw at Brentford was a bad result, right? Because I thought that's kind of been proved wrong with the weekend with Brighton winning there. But I just looked. My logic was looking at the run at that particular time Brentford were on. I thought, it's not an ideal result. You want to win your game, but it's not a disaster.
No.
You got to draw. The
Wolves won.
That was the one.
That was the one.
That was the one.
Ali, you can't be 2-0 up.
No, that was the one.
You've got to see the game out somehow.
That was the one, mate.
And that was the most disappointing part of that. I agree with you a little bit. Brentford, look, they've had a great season so far. They're 7th in the league, so they're there for a reason because they're a decent side. But certainly Wolves 2-0 up against the bottom side. You should be
correct.
Cruising to victory, really.
Well, I mentioned it was a absolutely thrilling weekend of Premier League drama. Eze got another 2 goals against his North London rivals in the derby again. Here's how it sounded live on talkSPORT.
Does it matter what Viktor Gyokeres ever does again, because he's just got his second of the game. 2 for Eze, 2 for Gyokeres. Derby delight for the Gunners, who go 5 points clear of Manchester City. Tottenham looking nervously over their shoulders. They're just 4 points clear of the relegation zone.
90th minute match winner for Crystal Palace. Evan gets on with his first for the club. Glasnap's getting booed from the field of play here.
Sunderland 1, Fulham 3. Fulham unbeaten in the last 5 Premier League matches at the stadium alike. Click that up to 6.
We've been here before. Nottingham Forest 0, Liverpool 1. Alexis McAllister, he stumped it in.
I think this could be offside. I really do.
Oh, he's given it.
Oh my goodness. Even if Ekitike does not touch the ball, isn't he not involved in that build-up play? Of course he is. He's in an offside position.
It's 9 minutes past 6, and I'm still not going to get involved in refereeing decisions at this particular moment in time. But I'll tell you what, listeners, stay tuned, because it's going to happen at some point. Nicky O'Reilly's brace kept City in the title hunt with a 2-1 victory over Newcastle. Chelsea dropped points at home to Burnley. Excuse me. Liverpool strengthened their push for Champions League football thanks to a late controversial winner from Alexis McAllister. That was an interesting game. I thought, when I only watched the highlights, I thought Forest actually played well.
Brilliant, yeah.
But there's only one place we can start, as Arsenal made a title statement again in the North London derby, defeating Spurs 4-1. Incidentally, had 3-1 in McCoupton to restore their 5-point lead at the top of the table. Eze was Tottenham's tormentor again. He now has 7 goals in his last 4 games against Spurs since last May. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta said he stepped up another level last night.
I mean, he scored 5 goals in the last 2 games against them, which is extremely difficult to do. But I could see that he wanted to prove something. He was upset, even with me, because I didn't play him the other day from the beginning, and some of the decisions that I made. And I started to understand how we're going to get the best out of him now.
Okay, Ray. Gyokeres also grabbed a brace. Arteta said it was his best game in a Gunners shirt since his summer arrival in Sporting Lisbon. I think that's a fair comment as well.
Absolutely. I think his movement was much better.
Yeah.
He was involved in more. He looks more of a threat in front of goal. You know, the positions he took up were so much better. If you look at his last goal, just running down that sort of channel, and you know he can cut inside and go for that far corner. I thought the first one was a great goal as well.
I loved his first one, mate.
Really good goal.
I loved his first one.
Good ball into him.
Yeah.
Good first touch. Got
First touch made it for him.
Yeah.
And then he could whip it with that bit of pace, and power to beat the goalkeeper.
So he looks a confident boy like yesterday. Other games I've seen him, and he's looked like he's trying. There's no doubt about it. He tries every game. He gives his all. But he just wasn't clicking. But he clicked yesterday. But you've got to do that on a regular basis, Ali. You can't just do it.
No, I know.
You can't just do it in a North London derby. You've got to be doing it
100%.
Every single game. You've got to play your part.
But if you're Arteta and Arsenal, you're just hoping that he's maybe just turned a wee corner.
Absolutely. That will give him a lot of confidence. You know, going away from home, North London rivals, and playing like that. Let's hope he can carry that on. And there's another huge game next week, Chelsea at home.
Oh,
so,
man,
and I don't care. I know Chelsea dropped points at the weekend. They'll be disappointed. They're going for that 4th and 5th place, or even 3rd place. So it's going to be a hell of another London derby next week, which will be another cracker, I'm sure.
Have you got I've not got the fixtures in front of me. Who have City got next week?
I just come up on now.
By the way, think about that. Think about the battle down at the bottom as well, mate.
No.
I mean, I think
Leeds away. City have got. Who give anybody a game?
You're right, mate.
But that's why we love the Premier League. It's such a competitive league. You know, Fulham going to Sunderland.
Yeah,
yesterday.
thumbing them over.
Great result. I had Sunderland down to win that. I thought they might nick a result there.
So did I, mate.
Fulham, fantastic result for them. Bournemouth are still 8th position, still got a chance for Europe next year. So
I think that's brilliant for them.
Yeah, Brentford 7th. Everybody thought they struggled because of the new manager and the manager leaving. So that's why we love the league. It's
You've done some job, Keith Andrews. Tell me, after the result yesterday, Spurs in trouble?
They've got to, of course they're in trouble. I mean, the league doesn't lie, Ali. So you're looking at it, 4 points above the relegation zone. That's nothing, you know. If they lose next, they've got Fulham away next, Tottenham, which is another tough game. You know, after Fulham coming off that win against Sunderland, they'll be looking now, can we somehow get into Europe next year? And it's so competitive in that area to get to top 8 positions. But Spurs, look, they have got a lot of injuries, and the manager's just come in. He looks like he knows what he wants out of the players.
Yeah.
Give them a little bit of time, and they maybe turn the corner. But I'd be amazed to see Tottenham go down. I know last year they was poor last year, wasn't they? It's only because the 3 teams who come up wasn't good enough, and they didn't really challenge anybody, Ipswich and Southampton and teams like that. But now West Ham have got that little bit of grit in between the team. Burnley keep battling on, but maybe they're too far back.
Too far away from me.
I should imagine.
Wolves away, but I tell you what, Tottenham are in it. I mean, and they're fine.
West Ham are showing that bit of spirit now.
Even
Forest would be kicking themselves yesterday. A little bit unlucky.
I think so.
As Arnie Slot said after the game, we got lucky. We got lucky yesterday.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick call. Kevin's giving us a call this morning. He's a very happy Arsenal fan. Kevin, good morning, mate. I take it you're delighted this morning.
Morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Ali. Good morning, Mr. Parlour.
How are you doing?
You buzzing this morning, mate?
Oh, listen, I'm floating. I'm floating. Listen, not about that we're going to win the league, because I told Ray the other day, he said, I spoke to a Bonney-law.
Gabby. Just say Gabby, that's easier.
Right, listen, what's name? The other day, he said his second team's Arsenal, and he didn't stop calling them off, did he?
Oh, anyway, right, yeah.
About last night, what a result.
It's comfortable, mate, wasn't it?
Give this geezer the centre forward. What's his name?
Gyokeres. You know your teeth on this morning.
I'm so excited. I'm getting excited. I've been going over the Arsenal since I was 7. That's 60. I'm 67. That's 60 years ago. I used to go to the library.
Yeah.
When I was a kid in the schoolboys enclosure. It cost 6pence.
Magic, pal. Magic.
Give him time. I said, give this geezer time. He scored 1 million goals in Portugal.
Hey, Kev, you're flying, pal. You enjoy your Monday, mate.
All right, love
it. Kev.
Listen, one question.
Yes.
Did you two appreciate that you as professional footballers?
Oh, you better.
Absolutely.
Loved it every day, mate.
Yeah.
Pinch myself every morning.
Couldn't believe our luck.
Of course, because there's zillions out there that want to be professional footballers.
Correct.
And you two was.
Yeah.
Good luck, guys.
Cheers, Kevin.
Lovely, Kevin. Thanks for your call, pal. Happy Monday, right, Arsenal fans?
That's one thing we always, I look back and say, I'm so pleased I've managed to get there.
Same here.
Because, you grow up as a kid and you're always like, And I threw all the eggs were in one basket with me. I left school at 15. So my mum went, what are you doing? I said, well, Mum, I'm going to be a footballer somehow. So... But you had that desire then to be a little bit more than other kids, maybe. So, but yeah, we do. Thank
every morning, mate. Brilliant. Loved it.
We wouldn't be sitting here earlier.
Correct, mate. That's for sure.